So, Romeo and Juliet. We all think we know the story, right? The ultimate tale of star-crossed lovers. But what if I told you that the entire tragedy, everything, hinged on just one single disastrous day? Well, in this explainer, we're going to walk through that fateful day, moment by moment, using these incredible manga panels to see exactly how it all went so wrong.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? It's a story about bad luck, terrible timing, and a series of choices made in the heat of the moment. We're going to trace that chain reaction, like a line of dominoes just waiting to fall one after another, starting with a moment of pure joy and ending in just absolute desperation.
So where do we start? Not with violence, believe it or not, but with hope. We're starting at the absolute highest point for our two lovers, a secret act of rebellion against a world that wants to tear them apart. Picture this. In Friar Lawrence's quiet cell, Romeo and Juliet are getting secretly married. And you can just feel the optimism, right? The friar's got this noble idea. He thinks their marriage could be the one thing that finally ends the bloody feud between the Montagues and the Capulets. For this one tiny moment, it really feels like love could conquer all that hate. This is the calm before the storm.
But that hope? It doesn't last long. Almost immediately, the sweltering streets of Verona yank us right back to the brutal reality of the feud. Their private world of love is about to have a very public, very violent collision with the world of family honor.
And here comes Tybalt, Juliet's hot-headed cousin, and he is just spoiling for a fight. He calls Romeo a villain, but Romeo, who, remember, is fresh from his own wedding, now sees Tybalt as family. So he tries to de-escalate, saying things that, well, they just don't make any sense to anyone else. To everybody watching, it just looks like cowardice. Romeo's best friend, Mercutio, absolutely can't stand it. He sees Romeo being peaceful and thinks it's a calm, dishonorable, vile submission. So, driven by his fierce loyalty and a whole lot of pride, he steps in. He draws his own sword to defend the Montague name, and with that one move, he lights the fuse on this whole powder keg.
And this is where it all becomes so tragic. Because Romeo actually does the right thing. He jumps right between them, yelling that the prince has forbidden fighting in the streets. He is desperately trying to be the peacemaker, to protect his best friend and his new cousin-in-law.
But those good intentions lead to total disaster. In the chaos of Romeo trying to break up the fight, Tybalt sees an opening. He thrusts his sword right under Romeo's arm and deals Mercutio a mortal wound. The one act that was meant to stop the violence is the very thing that guarantees a deadly outcome.
As he's dying, Mercutio, who isn't even a Montague or a Capulet, by the way, he curses both their families. A plague of both your houses. He sees it perfectly. He's just another victim of their pointless, destructive feud. And his dying words, they're not just a cry of pain. They're a prophecy for everything that's about to happen.
Mercutio's death changes everything. This is the point of no return. The tragedy is now entering a brand new phase, and it's driven by grief, rage, and the unstoppable need for revenge. That Romeo who wanted peace a minute ago? He's gone. Looking at his friend's body, he is completely transformed. He's convinced his love for Juliet made him soft, that it softened valor's steel. So he just tosses love aside and chooses vengeance. The choice is made in an instant, and it's a choice that will seal his fate. The fight that follows is fast and it is brutal. Fueled by pure grief, Romeo just overwhelms Tybalt. He kills the man who is now his cousin by marriage. And with that one final, furious move, the highest point of his life, his wedding, and this new lowest point are now tragically fused together. The second Tybalt falls, the rage just vanishes. It's replaced by this crushing, immediate realization. Oh, I am fortune's fool. Romeo knows exactly what he's done. He's played right into fate's hands, avenging his friend, but completely destroying his own future in the process. And the contrast here is just devastating. On one side, you have Juliet dreaming about her wedding night, completely clueless about the horror that's just unfolded. And on the other, you've got the harsh reality. The prince banishes Romeo from Verona. It's supposed to be an act of mercy instead of execution, but for these two lovers, banishment is basically a living death. They're now trapped in two totally separate realities. So when the news finally gets to Juliet, her world just shatters. I mean, can you imagine being caught in that impossible bind? Your brand new husband just killed your favorite cousin. After that first explosion of anger, though, her loyalty to Romeo wins out. She realizes he must have been provoked, and her place is with him now.
You know, just when you think things absolutely can't get any worse, the next blow comes. And it doesn't come from an enemy in the street, but from inside the supposed safety of her own family.
Her father, Lord Capulet, sees her so distraught and makes a fatal miscalculation. He thinks she's just weeping over Tybalt, so he decides a big, happy wedding to the handsome nobleman Paris is just the thing to cheer her up. He has no idea he's not offering her a solution. He's delivering an ultimatum that's going to back her into an impossible corner.
And Juliet, for the very first time, openly defies him. She just flat out refuses. He shall not make me there a joyful bride. And then, in this amazing bit of dramatic irony, she says she would rather marry Romeo, the man they think she despises, than marry Paris. She is telling the literal truth, but all they hear is the ultimate insult.
Her father's reaction is just terrifying. He explodes with rage, threatens to throw her out on the street, to disown her completely if she doesn't obey him. And in that moment, she loses everyone. Her father, her mother, even her closest friend, the nurse, tells her to just forget Romeo. Suddenly, Juliet is completely and utterly alone.
With every other door slammed shut, there's only one person left she can turn to. And it leads to one last, incredibly dangerous plan. Juliet runs back to Friar Lawrence's cell, but she's not there for advice. She's made a decision. She pulls out a knife. If he can't help her, she will take her own life right there rather than betray Romeo by marrying Paris. That desperation forces the friar to come up with an equally desperate plan. The friar's plan is a wild gamble. He gives her a sleeping potion that will make her seem dead. The steps are simple but so risky. 1. Go home, pretend you'll marry Paris. 2. Take the potion alone. 3. You'll appear to be dead for 42 hours. 4. Your family will place you in the Capulet tomb. And 5. The most crucial step, the friar will send a message to Romeo who will come and rescue you. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
This is the moment Juliet takes control of her own destiny. She's done being a pawn in her parents' games. She takes the vial, choosing this terrifying risk over the certain betrayal of her love. It's a choice born from pure courage and resolve. She would rather face the horror of being buried alive than live a life without Romeo. And that's how this one single, tragic day ends, with this gamble. A secret marriage led to a public duel. A friend's death led to a kinsman's death. Revenge led to banishment. A father's command led to a daughter's desperation. And it all culminates in this one little vial. A sleeping potion that is either the key to their reunion or the trigger for the final, devastating tragedy.